Bullies spit on the shy girl's lunch. Her MMA training made them regret it. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. She sat alone, like always. Her lunch tray was untouched. Just another quiet day at school until it wasn't. Without warning, a group of students cornered her, laughing as one of them spat directly into her food. They thought she was weak, invisible, just a nobody to push around. But what they didn't know was this shy girl had been training in MMA since she was 6. She didn't want to fight, but sometimes silence holds a storm. What happens when the ones you mock are more powerful than you ever imagined? Watch until the end. Zoe had always been the quiet girl in class. She kept her hood up, eyes low, books close to her chest. People assumed she was soft, poor, powerless. What they didn't know was that after school, Zoe spent hours in a dusty gym with her uncle, a retired MMA champion, training until her muscles ached and her breath burned. She never bragged, never showed off. Fighting wasn't something she glorified, it was something she mastered to protect herself and survive. School was her calm space, even if no one talked to her. Even if some laughed behind her back, she just wanted to get through her day without drawing attention. But in a world where quiet is mistaken for weakness, some people push too far. And that day in the cafeteria, they moved her right to the edge. It started with whispers, snickers. Someone purposely bumped her shoulder as she carried her tray. The cafeteria buzzed with energy, but Zoe's table, isolated and near the back, was silent. She took a seat, opened her sandwich, and tried to ignore them. But the laughter grew louder. That's when they approached, 3 girls known for picking targets like vultures. One yanked her water bottle and drank from it mockingly. Another called her mute girl. The third, Chelsea, the ringleader, stood above her, eyeing her tray. With a smirk, she leaned forward and spat into Zoe's food. Laughter erupted. Zoe sat still, her hands clenched, her jaw tightened. She didn't move. But inside, a lifetime of discipline collided with a fresh wave of humiliation. She looked at the tray, then at the laughing crowd. Then, slowly, she stood. The cafeteria quieted. Chelsea scoffed, "You gonna cry?" But Zoe didn't speak. She adjusted her stance, her feet are shoulder-width apart, chin down, fists loose. A stance only a trained fighter would recognize. The girls blinked, confused. Zoe's body had entered a zone they couldn't comprehend, and they were about to understand just how wrong they were. Chelsea lunged at her with mock aggression, but before her arm even made contact, Zoe sidestepped, grabbed her wrist, twisted, and swept her legs out from under her. The crowd gasped. One of the other girls tried to pull Zoe back, but she spun, controlled, and gently flipped her over a bench, using her momentum. The third girl backed away, stunned. Zoe didn't punch, didn't scream. She moved with calm precision, just enough to subdue without harm. Phones were out, staff came rushing, but the damage was already done. Not to Zoe's reputation, but to theirs. The bullies weren't laughing anymore. They were on the floor, red-faced, humiliated, exposed. And the girl they'd mocked for being shy had just schooled them in front of everyone. Zoe sat back down, opened her untouched sandwich, and began eating calmly. The cafeteria buzzed, but now the whispers were different. Respect, awe, even fear. Teachers questioned what happened, but footage from students' phones made it clear. She had defended herself with restraint and control. Suspension? No. Commendation? Maybe. But more importantly, the narrative had changed. No longer invisible, no longer a target. Zoe hadn't wanted to be a symbol, but in one afternoon, she became something more, a quiet storm that demanded respect. She reminded them all that power doesn't always shout, it trains in silence. And sometimes it wears a hoodie and eats alone. How many more quiet kids are holding back worlds you know nothing about? Watch them closely. You might be sitting next to a warrior. Tell us, what city and country are you watching from? Take care.